Okay, everybody, can you see my screen okay? Excellent. Hold on, let me slide over. All these screens popped up on me. Just one second. All right. Um, so let me start off. Good morning, and thank you for joining today's training on accessing statistics in schools. Before I begin, though, I just want to let you know I welcome interactions during the webinar, so feel free to unmute yourself to ask any questions. Also, your feedback is very important. So at the end of this webinar, I'll be sharing with you a survey link as well. Please take the time to respond to the survey. It helps us with providing you better training for the future. You'll also get a copy of this presentation. Well, Fitlin will, and they can share it with you at their leisure. I'll send it to them via email within the next day. And at this point, I just want to let you know I'm going to turn off my camera just to help free up bandwidth to avoid a lag in the system. So give me just one sec. All right, this is me. My name is Meredith Maxwell, and I am a data dissemination specialist for the training branch of the Bureau. I've been with the census in various capacities since 2008. I currently cover the state of Nevada, the counties of Riverside, Imperial, and San Bernardino in the state of California. Our DDTB, or Data Dissemination and Training Branch, offers wonderful opportunities to continue your learning experience. With this site, you can learn how to access and use Census Bureau data your way through our how-to data gem videos and in-depth courses, webinars, and tutorials. Census Academy allows you to search by topic, which allow you to learn at your own pace. I assure you it's pretty cool. It's one of the ways we actually train our incoming DDTB staff. So I encourage you, when you have time at your leisure, to check this site out. In addition to our how-to videos, the webinars offer a more comprehensive look into our various data tools and surveys. Either way, we're here to help and look forward to a continued relationship. There are 13 principal federal statistical agencies identified by the Office of Management and Budget, or what we simply call OMB. The United States Census Bureau is the largest. We conduct over 130 censuses, surveys each year on social, economic, demographic, and housing data. While most of our surveys are optional, we do have the mandatory or constitutional obligation to conduct the decennial census, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, the economic census, which actually just completed last month, and the American Community Survey. What can we use it for? Census Bureau statistics are good for a multitude of uses. For our purposes today, they're especially useful for finding various populations at the state level, ages of your K through 12 populations, language spoken, how people commute, various state facts, and even how people use computers at home. And that's literally just the bare minimum of what we cover. Keep in mind, we've been doing this since 1790, so we have a lot of data. So today, I'm going to give you a real high-level overview of statistics in schools, or what we simply call SIS. We're going to navigate the SIS site, which can be found if you wanted to follow along at census.gov/schools to access and explore classroom activities. And then I'm going to show you how you can locate resources for independent learning. Real high level. We don't have a whole bunch of time today, so I just want to make sure I at least leave you with a sense of what you can find. All right, statistics in schools. We're going to go ahead and move into the program itself. SIS, or Statistics in Schools, is our go-to site that brings school subjects to life using real-world Census Bureau statistics to create materials for use year after year for K through 12 students. You can explore this site for engaging resources and activities in social studies, math, English, geography, sociology, and much more. More importantly, access is 24/7 and it's free to use. I'm going to repeat that, 24/7 and it's free to use. SIS added value is that it's designed by you, teachers. We collaborated with teachers to ensure the content brings value and is engaging for each age group, K through 12. In order to provide the valuable statistics highlighted in our various activities and state facts for Students Explorer data tool, the Census Bureau sources data from several surveys and censuses. We cover data from the decennial census, which covers 1910 to 2020, the American Community Survey, 1-year estimates, and we have 5-year estimates as well, the 2021 population estimates, and the 2010 and 2020 county business patterns. Not to mention, but Statistics in Schools also includes Puerto Rico with 2010 and 2011 Puerto Rico Community Survey 1-year estimates. While today's focus will be on the decennial census and the American Community Survey, which I have highlighted here in red, I want to point out a few quick facts about the population estimates and county business patterns. PEP, or population estimates profile. This Census Bureau's population estimates program, it produces estimates of the population for the United States between decennials. It's for states, counties, cities, and towns. The demographic components of population change, so births, deaths, and migration, are produced at the national, state, and county levels of geography. Additionally, housing unit estimates are produced for the nation, states, and counties. The most recent vintage that we have available for PEP is 2021, with the next release slated for December 23. And this is important because people always ask us, well, how do you update data between decennials? And this is one of our prime programs to make sure that we're consistently aggregating our data, making sure that we have a survey that updates again between decennials. Now, for our county business patterns, simply put, this is an annual series that provides economic data by industry, but it's below the national level. So data like numbers of establishments and payroll information. Businesses use the data for analyzing market potential, measuring the effectiveness of sales and advertising programs, setting sales quotas, and developing budgets. Government agencies use this data for administration and planning. So there's just a quick highlight on the two that we're not really going to go in depth on, but I just wanted to let you know what they are. Now we're going to move on to the decennial census and the ACS. As I mentioned earlier, you should be familiar with the decennial census, which takes place every 10 years. The Bureau is constitutionally mandated by Article 1, Section 2 to count every person living in the U.S., wherever they may be during Census Day, which is April 1st. The decennial census has significant political and financial implications, as the official count determines congressional representation, and it helps to inform how $675 billion of federal funding is distributed to various communities across the nation. Just an FYI, planning for the 2030 census is underway, and it is the 25th in U.S. history. We are currently in what you call the design selection phase, which runs from 2021 to 2024, which includes research, testing, operational planning, and design work to inform the selection of the initial 2030 census operational design, which is the big picture plan for conducting the census. The final planning phase will start in 2025, which will include tests to ensure process quality. Don't try to take this all in at once. Again, this is just a high level overview, but this is a list of the data products generated by the decennial count. The products include apportionment, which includes military and federal employees living outside the US, redistricting, congressional district summary files, which basically state reported changes to the congressional district, and the data is retabulated following Census 2020, and a demographic profile and demographic and housing profiles. And this can be found at census.gov/programs. Again, don't try to take this all in. This is just high level. I'll make sure you guys have access to this. So if you want to review it, you can see it. The next data source is called the American Community Survey. Now, the ACS is an ongoing survey which sends out mailings to 3.5 million addresses annually, or about 295,000 addresses each month. The ACS collects and produces detailed population and housing estimates, as well as social, economic, housing, and demographic characteristics. It covers over 40 plus topics that support many federal government uses. Information from the survey generates data that helps determine, again, more than 675 billion in federal and state funds, which are distributed each year. Through the ACS, which is one of my favorite surveys that we conduct, by the way, we know more about jobs and occupations, educational attainment, veterans, whether people own or rent their homes, and many more topics. Public officials, planners, and entrepreneurs use this information to access the past and plan for the future. Responding to the ACS helps your community plan for hospitals and schools, support school lunch programs, improve emergency services, build bridges, and inform businesses looking to add jobs and expand to new markets and more. And I will say myself, with the education background, a lot of my data dissemination trainings are with school districts, and the ACS is a very valuable tool for disseminating information and helping people plan for grants or just figure out who's in their geography. It's important to note that the survey is not mailed to a specific person, but to randomly selected addresses. There is no name on the mailing. It only contains the address of the household. The process typically is that the randomly selected household address receives a mail informing them that they have been selected and encouraged to respond via paper or online. All respondents are strictly confidential. The Bureau is bound by Title 13 of the U.S. Code to protect disclosure or publish any information. As census employees, we're also sworn for life. There are strict penalties for divulging any information, including imprisonment and up to 5 years and a fine of up to $250,000, which I currently do not have. Now, the content collected by the ACS can be grouped into 4 main types of characteristics: social, which we have here, demographic, housing, and economics. The social characteristics include topics like education, marital status, fertility, veterans, disability status, and place of birth. The ACS also collects the basic demographic characteristics collected on the decennial census, which are in red. These characteristics are age, sex, race, Hispanic origin, and tenure. You can see we have them highlighted here in red under demographics and housing characteristics here. Economic characteristics include topics like employment status, income, commuting to work, occupation, industry, health insurance, and many, many more. And lastly, the housing characteristics include topics like tenure, information about the occupancy, and the structure itself, which include home value and housing costs. Such housing costs include mortgages, taxes and insurance, utilities, plumbing, kitchen, facilities, and other. So as you can see, ACS covers a wide variety of topics, and I'll show you, or we'll mention the data tools where ACS are of most value. Now, regarding the ACS, this is a table for the types of ACS data releases. The ACS creates what is called period estimates, which means they represent the characteristics of the population and housing over a specific period. These are known as the 1-year and 5-year estimates. The 1-year estimate collects 12 months of data because it is conducted yearly. It is more recent and very useful for geographies with rapidly changing characteristics, which typically are your larger geographies. Whereas 5-year estimates collect a total of 60 months, which means it's less current, and because of the longer period of collection time, it has a smaller margin of error. The 1-year estimates provide you with data populations of 65,000 or more, and the 1-year supplemental is 20,000 or more, while all your geographies will get the 5-year estimates, especially those with less than 20,000. The question becomes, which estimate should I use? Well, it depends on your need. If you need more current data and less precise, you're going to use the one-year estimates. If you need more precise data, but not as current, then you're going to use the 5-year. Okay, I thought that this slide is important because we talk about geographies, we talk about the various topics that we cover, but this highlights how our various geographies nest within one another. So basically, another important element for you is just to be aware of our geography. This diagram shows you the hierarchy of the census geography. And we're going to read this right to left instead of left to right. So the smallest is the block group, okay, here. And what this is showing you is how the block nests within the block group, which is a larger area here. And then from the block group, we show you how the block group nests within a census tract. And a census tract is about 1,200 to 8,000 people, but the ideal census tract size is about 4,000 people. And then we show you how the census tract nests within a county area. And then from the county area, we show you how it nests within the state. And then finally, how the state geography level nests within the nation. So just a little tidbit. So those of you who reach out post this presentation and you want additional data training, we have tools that you can search your specific criteria by geography. So we just want to make sure that you kind of have a baseline understanding of what this is. All right. Now let's look at some of the selected demographic characteristics of the state of Nevada based on our state facts for students data tool. Here for the state of Nevada, this slide identifies a range of pertinent state facts like total population, which you can see is just over 3 million. And just to let you know, on every slide or every fact that we highlight, we also source it. So if you're ever wondering where it comes from and you want to research it, you can see this one here is a 2021 ACS 5-year estimate. We're also showing you the median age, which is almost 39 years, the state density at nearly 29 persons per square mile, and the most populated city, which is Las Vegas. Not to mention various fun facts like the state nickname, the flower, state tree, and much more. Counting the nation's population is what we do. Here you can see an increase in the state's population dating back to 1910, where it was noted to be almost 82,000. And as of 2020, just over 3 million people. Yeah. Since the SIS program focuses on kids who are in the grades of kindergarten through seniors in high school, this slide illustrates the age breakdown of boys and girls compared to the 2020 census versus the 2021 ACS. So you can see if you were to take 8-year-olds, you can see there's been a slight increase in 2020 to 2021. Again, ACS is an annual survey, so these numbers should change over time. And you can just see the breakdown from 8 to 14-year-olds. And again, this is just a simple tool just to give you something quick and fun for your geography. And it's really easy for middle grade and elementary school kids to utilize. Ever wonder what the business mix for the state looks like? On this slide, the State Facts for Students data tool highlights about 12 business sectors and compares its growth from 2010 to 2020. Based on this slide, it looks like the largest sector growth occurred in the fast food industry, with 561 plus or minus new restaurants reported in 2020. I do like to go to Vegas to eat. Fun stuff. And here's just a quick activities overview on what's covered in our statistics in schools. So the statistic, I'm just going to say SIS. You get tongue-tied saying that enough times. Provides more than 100 activities that you can use in any year to enhance and invigorate learning in many subjects. Subjects include math, history, English, sociology, geography, and much more. These activities are all free and they're easy to access and use, which I will highlight in our online demonstration. And basically, just to start, you pick a subject or a grade level to see what activities are available and get details such as learning objectives, relevant topics, and skills taught. Next, you select and download the activities you want. All activities include a list of materials, a student worksheet, and teacher directions. It's that easy. Now, before I go into the demonstration, are there any quick questions that I should answer? Let's see here, get to the Zoom. So I can get to the chat here. Okay, looks like we're good to go. All right. And okay, this is our census.gov home site. I know when at first glance it looks overwhelming. There's definitely a lot going on here. I'm just going to show you a simple navigation. And again, for those of you who are following, please feel free. I encourage you to, if you have access to the internet currently. Just 1 second, my page is spooling. All right. So again, we're at the census.gov. And for the purposes of this presentation, we're just going to take our cursor, go here to the top, and we're just going to simply go to educators. Select educators, and voila. We're at our census.gov/school page.
I don't see what you're clicking on. I don't know if it's just my screen.
Okay, I'll try to zoom in here.
I think that it's like on your slide presentation instead of the.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry. It should have switched. Just 1 second. Are we good to go?
Yep, that's it. Thank you.
No problem. Let me go ahead and start that over. Okay, so my apologies. This is our census.gov homepage. I'm going to go up here to the top to educators. And when we select that, it takes us to our statistics in school homepage, which is simply census.gov/schools. And it's very intuitive. It's easy to use. They've simplified it over the years. Actually, it used to be pretty cumbersome when we first rolled this out, but I think it's much better now. You can easily scroll down and get to what you want, but for the purposes of learning, I think it's easier just to stick with the top. And I'm going to show you one of the first activities here. So when you select this, it basically it gives you all your options for math, history, geography, sociology, fun facts, all that good stuff. So for this example, we'll go ahead and we'll select math. And as you can see, it gives you your math worksheet options, and you can either start at all grades or you can select your grade categories. So we'll go ahead and select K-5, and it'll give you all your options for K-5. We have over 100 subject matter topics for our various categories. So changes in my state, comparing my state, how does our class compare, so forth and so on. Immigration nation, let's count. We'll go ahead and just start with this first one here, changes in my state. And once you select that, it basically gives you step-by-step what you need to do. So it gives you a description of the activity. It gives you the suggested grade level, how long this exercise should take, what your objectives are, and your required materials. So materials we try to keep it as simple as possible. It's either going to be a data tool, maybe some papers and pencils or protractors, depending on the complexity. But we definitely understand the need for materials, so we try to streamline these activities as much as possible. And the activity item, which will be our state facts for students. All right. And then it gives you the subject, what the topics will be. This particular one will be on bar graphs and states, skills taught, creating a bar graph, determining appropriate scale, formulating a hypothesis, and interpreting a bar graph. And we also provide you a teacher version and a student version, which are downloadable PDFs. So I will show you what that looks like. So here's the changes in my state teacher version. It's basically what you see on the activities page. And this one, it's about 4 or 5 pages in length, gives you the description. You can print it out or you can save it as a PDF, it's up to you. Again, materials required, standards addressed, Common Core state standards of mathematics. It gives you your references. And it's pretty in depth on what the hopeful outcome is. Guidelines for assessing and instruction in statistics education, formulate questions, collect data, analyze data, interpret results, the taxonomy, also gives you teacher notes. So we basically try to cover you A to Z to make sure that it's mutually beneficial, not only for you, but for the students as well. Options for during the activity, options for after the activity, extension ideas if you want to take it beyond. And then it gives you your SLOs, your student learning objectives. All right. I'm going to scroll up. Just wanted to highlight that real quick. And of course, you can download it here. You can print it out. I'm going to go back to the SIS and we'll download the student version. And it's basically the same layout, okay? But this will be provided to the student for them to follow along as you give instructions, name, date. Here's the exercise itself. And of course, these exercises here will correlate with the data tool. And I'll show you the data tool here shortly. All right, going back to changes in my state. So the activity item here, this activity uses the following online tool. We'll go ahead and select that, state facts for students. And as you can see, all your resources travel with you. Okay, so no matter what you select, you'll have these 4 tabs up top. So it's easy to navigate back and forth. Excuse me while my tool tabulates. All right, let me see if it'll let me work. My apologies, it's our government bandwidth. It's always exciting.
For those worksheets, sorry, while it's doing that, for those worksheets that you were showing, are there
yes.
Different answers depending on the data the students are using, or are there answer keys based off of certain stuff we're looking at?
It'll be very specific. Yeah, so it, you know, especially with the math. So it'll be, you know, it'll be for instance, what's the population? So the population specific. Now, if it asks you the range, now that, but it'll still be within a specific set of criteria. So it kind of eliminates the guesswork. The answer is the answer.
Right. Okay.
Oh, geez, this is really, refresh that. I assure you, it was working before I started this training. Let me see if let me select. Okay, well, I'm not gonna waste too much time here waiting for this thing to spool. I'm not sure what's going on. It might be doing an update, but either way, this is a very simple tool. You would select this drop-down box, and you would select Nevada, and then once you open up Nevada, it'll give you your random facts, your state facts, your population criteria. Basically, the slides that I highlighted in the presentation for your particular state. And of course, you can do it for all the contiguous states here, depending on what the lesson plan is. So I'm going to try to spool it one more time, but I'm not sure. Maybe they're working on it. I'm not sure what's happening here. My apologies. I really want to show it to you. Wow. Okay, it's not being my friend right now. So for those of you who, if it's working for you, great. Feel free to play around with it. And again, it's really simple. It's nothing too complicated. Pretty straightforward. Wow, it's really not. Let me get here. Okay. So just let me go back here up to resources. Sorry, activities, excuse me. We'll go back to math quickly. And I'll just show you the difference in complexity for grades 9 through 12. So when you select 9 through 12, you can already see that the topics, the activities are more complex, applying correlation coefficients, census in counties, which is a really popular one, describing and comparing data distributions. Let's see what else we have here. Over the hill, aging on a normal curve, the new normal. Okay. So we'll go ahead and we'll select this one, analyzing relationships, marriage, divorce, and linear regression. Yeah, it's definitely something with the tool because everything else is working well. So my apologies again. So here's the selected grade level again, 9th grade. Subject, high school math. Topics, linear model, linear regression, residuals and residual plots, scatter plots, slope, y-intercept. So you can see we do our best to make sure that the activities are age or grade level appropriate. And again, you can download the teacher version, download the student version. And then we have our resources. You can have access to our various data tools, fun facts, games, historical documents, warm-up activities, visualizations, videos, monthly highlights, etc. The maps are pretty cool. People are always calling us about what map access we have. So here's just a few of the maps specifically for statistics in schools. Fascinating old census maps is a very popular one. And I can select that and show you what it looks like. So it gives you an example, okay? You can select it. I won't go there because that's gonna pull me way out the site, but everything is pretty intuitive. Go back to the resources page. We have videos. And the videos range in length. They can be anywhere from 30 seconds to a half hour. So just depending on what it is you're looking for. There's a ton of them. So make sure you set some time aside when you're searching through the videos and the maps. All right, how are we doing here on time? All right, I have a few more slides, so I'm going to jump out of here. Let's see. I just got to try one more time. Let's see. Excuse me, I just want to see if the data tool will work quickly. Nope, still spooling. All right, it doesn't want to work for me. That's life. Okay. All right, let's see, new share. I'm gonna jump back to the presentation here. Oops. So how can you help? So the Ambassador Program is a chance to collaborate with other educators, librarians, and census folks to address needs necessary to provide quality data-driven products for the classroom that basically help improve statistical literacy. We can't do it alone. And as an ambassador, we would ask for a small commitment of 5 to 10 hours a school year to promote the use of SIS materials and participate in various virtual events and initiatives. The benefit to the ambassador program is that you're a sounding board towards the development of new SIS products. You will also have access to Census Bureau statisticians ready to field your questions. While those benefits are great, the most important is the networking potential of ambassadors with other educators across the country. And, a little bit different, but in a similar vein, as a partner, you're a catalyst for making a difference in your community. Utilizing your networks backed by our SIS platform, you'll be empowered to boost statistical literacy. SIS has the resources to help support you. SIS will provide you with timely updates on our program, including new resources and activities relevant to your audiences. Additional perks include customized opportunities to have blogs and articles, as well as podcasts and webinars produced by Census Bureau data experts. More references for self-study available via the resource tab is the SIS page. From our SIS resource page, you can have access to our data tools, diagrams, tables, fun facts, games, historical documents, maps, videos, visualizations, and much, much more. Okay. Our additional data tools, we have, I'm sorry, excuse me, let me jump back. With SIS, we put the true power of the data first in the hands of the teachers. So in addition to state facts for students, we have additional data tools for more complex users. For instance, data.census.gov, which is one of our most used and newer platforms. Data.census.gov, or DCG as we call it, provides data on population, race, age, education, income, businesses for the largest and smallest geographic entities, including zip codes and neighborhoods. This tool is best used for high school students. And then we have Census Business Builder, which is back here in the back. Okay. This tool offers an easy way to access and use key demographic and economic data at the county, city, zip code, and tract levels. These data tools help small business owners plan for opening a new location or expanding an existing one. CBB is also an excellent tool, best used by high school students. So again, when you're on the SIS page and you select an activity, it'll recommend which one of these tools to use, okay? The third tool of note is Quick Facts, which is actually one of my favorites. It's easy to use application that displays tables, maps, and charts of frequently requested statistics, such as age, sex, race, and ethnicity, and also education. Facts are available for the nation, all 50 states, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, and all US counties. Also included are states and towns with populations of 5,000 or greater. So again, this tool is only for use if the population is 5,000 or more, and it only includes our most popular statistics. So it is limited. This is how you get in touch with us. Again, my name is Meredith Maxwell. I'm with the U.S. Census Bureau Data Dissemination Branch, Data Dissemination and Training Branch. Actually, it shouldn't be Data Dissemination Branch. Customer Liaison and Marketing Service Office. Here is my contact information, as well as my mobile number. I am currently in California. Again, I rotate between Nevada and various counties throughout Southern California. There are about 40, 45 of us throughout the nation. So we do our best to cover as much geography as we can. But I'm here to help you. Census.askdata at census.gov is our general mailbox. And if you want to call us, it's 1-844-ASK-DATA. Subscribe to the Census Academy. We'd love to have you. We'd love to work with you. I'm available. Please reach out as soon as whenever you feel you have a need. And that's it. Let's see. Any questions? As far as the copy of the presentation, I will make sure that Finlit gets a copy for you guys to have and utilize as you wish. But again, once you get the presentation and you review it and you have any questions, please let me be a resource to help you through it. I'd love to work with you. Again, I have an education background. I understand the challenges, but I also understand the benefit of this SIS program. And I'd love for you guys to implement it in your various institutions.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. So I just added the 2 links in there. Please don't leave the meeting unless you filled out both of those surveys. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And we're going to move to session 3 in about 10 minutes.
All right. Am I good to go?
Yeah, you're good to go. Thank you so
Thank
much. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Are you fucking crazy? Go find it.
Okay, so for those who were just in the last session with us, if you want to stay in this room, you can stay in this room, or you can jump to another. Just depends on what you want to do. But we will wait until 10:35, so about 10 minutes to start the next session. This I just saw in the chat. This room is room B, and the last session was session 2. So yeah, we'll wait about 10 minutes until we can hand over the presentation to our next speaker, Zoe. So just let me know if you have any questions.